welcome to the Dan and Qasim show. Think Big with Dan and Qasim, and our guest today is Justin Breen. So I'll say a little bit about myself. So I'm a co-founder and CEO at Southfleet Consulting, and then Qasim, an engineer as well. He's my co-founder. So I guess Justin, if you just want to, tell me a little bit about your story and about your company and just how you got started.
Yeah, it's great to be here. We're both from North Shore, north suburbs of Chicago, and people like us are usually aliens within our own family, community, and vertical. The only people that understand us are top entrepreneurs on planet. So I spent most of my life in the North Shore talking to people who had no idea what I was talking about, and over the last 6 years or so since starting entrepreneur life, I finally found people who understood what I was talking about, and those are top global entrepreneurs on planet. So I spend my day with my family or connecting the world's top entrepreneurs. That's my entire day.
Awesome. So how did you get started? I know that you work with PR and connecting entrepreneurs. Like, what made you want to do that? And how long have you been doing it for?
Okay, so you're strategic and then context. I am not strategic and not context. I just want to know someone's Colby score because then I know whether I'm talking to a visionary or a human, and then I just like to talk to visionaries. That's the easiest way to do it. So again, people like us are usually aliens within our own family, community, and verticals. And then what separates entrepreneurs from humans are four things. One, bankruptcy or potential bankruptcy. Two, depression. Three, highest level of anxiety that you can imagine. And four, likely and or possible traumatic experiences as a child or young adult. So for humans, business owners, consultants, those are excuses. Entrepreneur at the highest level, that's the fuel. Figure it out. So humans, they're playing not to lose, and then visionaries, they're just playing to win, no excuses. And then my father was 61 when I was born. 61, he'd be 107 now. World War II hero, shot down multiple times in combat, many times without a parachute, and he just got back into a plane. So you're either someone who can do that or you're someone who makes an excuse. So I was a journalist for 20 years, created an entire first company based on how PR firms annoyed me for 20 years. I have no idea what PR firms do. They just annoyed me. So created a solution to that after job salary was cut in half, couldn't find a job, reached out to 5,000 people to find first 5 clients while I was working full time at half the salary. So most people can't do that. They're not, visionaries. So I just did it and then got fifth client, and then next day resigned. And then at the time, he's since retired, but at the time, Robert Feeder was the top media columnist in the Midwest. He did a story. I'd started my own firm. So that was February 10th, 2017 to June 5th, 2017. And now two global companies that only partner with aliens like us.
It's amazing. So in terms of, you finding your first 5 clients, how did you go about doing that?
Right. So that's a human question. Yeah. You don't, so none, you get shot down and no. You either someone who can do that or you can't. There is no, you just do it. That's what I mean. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
guessing you're relating to your audience, but that's what's so no. You just do it. So at the time I had a large social media following.
Were you just doing cold outreach on LinkedIn or email, or I guess like what method? I mean, because like for us, like it's the same thing. It's like, I'm, reaching, thousands of people via email a day. I'm reaching, hundreds of people on LinkedIn,
It's
just tons of
entrepreneurial
follow-ups.
life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
most people can't do that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So I guess like right now, what does your typical day look like?
Spending time with my family and connecting the world's top visionaries. Yep. So not humans, not business owners, not consultants. That stuff annoys me. And then most of them, actually almost every visionary I talk to is high quick start, low follow through. So they're that's ADD, diagnosed or undiagnosed, not a disorder. Um, it's a sign of genius mislabeled by humans, and then I connect them to other people who are changing the world. So again, growing up in North Shore, people playing not to lose, driving nice cars. First question they ask is, what do you cost or charge? I've never understood that. And they're looking at how, they're not looking at finding the right people. They're just living in their world. And I'm a full the world global visionary. I've just always been that person. I just didn't know it until starting for his company.
Right, 100%. Like for us, it's the same thing. It's like, it's all about value. It's like I don't think about it's not about a price. It's about the
No,
value that we're providing, and that's really kind of what I look at, as well. I guess like what are your goals in the next 6 to 12 months?
no, 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 no. That's a business owner question. Yeah. So no, 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 no. I spend time with my family and connect the world's top visionaries. I found all this other stuff takes care of itself. So Earl Nightingale, he's the OG of motivational speakers. Uh, he started doing that when just when audio recordings started coming out. So he was also a war hero. Probably a 10 quick start. He was alive before Colby was born, but so my favorite quote of his is success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is progressive realization of worthy ideal. So my worthy ideal is spending time with my family and connecting world's type visionaries. So I just get better at that every day. I don't all this other stuff I found takes care of itself.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I guess like
Well, that's what it is. So business owners live in quarters and I don't live. I was talking to my 8 year. Well, he's 9 now, but when he was 8, my son Chase, he's a 9 quick start, 2 follow through, pure pioneer. He's my wife's a pediatrician, so he has her genius doctor brain and then whatever my brain is. So we were talking about bending time. And so he provided the greatest single definition of what life is. Because like all this other stuff's just business owner stuff that annoys me. I don't really. It's just annoying to me because it's people trying to change their world. I don't live in that world. I live in the world. So Chase, I'm paraphrasing him. So he considers life one long great day. So yesterday's before you're born, tomorrow's after you die, and so there's no Tuesday or Thursday. That's just human made up nonsense. But so he said there are only 2 ways to have a great day, great long day. One, create more living things. The fundamental purpose of any living thing is to create more living things. So that doesn't necessarily need to be a child, but it can be a company or foundation or whatever. And then 2 is to do what you like to do and what you're good at and just keep getting better at it. So that's it. All this other stuff is just landing the plane stuff that a true visionary, they don't live in that world. They don't live.
100%. I mean, for us, like it's the same thing. I mean, we work every day, so like I don't
And
think
then,
about
but
it
then
based.
stop asking about stuff like that. I don't want to. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to answer that stuff. So, like, tell me how you really feel, because you're trying to relate to your audience right now. I'm
Right,
trying
right,
to
right,
talk to visionaries, so we can
right,
talk
right.
to visionary, but business owner stuff is just going to annoy me. So
No,
we
yeah,
can talk.
yeah, yeah, sure, sure, yeah, yeah. No, 100%. I mean, like, for us, it's the same thing. It's like I don't even, most of the time I don't even know like what day of the week it is. 'Cause it's like for us,
Right.
it's like it's 100%. Like we're working every day, and like I don't even think about
This
it.
isn't work. None of
Yeah,
this is work
yeah,
for me.
yeah, exactly. I don't think of it as work either. Yeah, for me, it's, I love what I do, and for me, exactly, it's like I 100% agree. I'm in the same boat as you. Like I have a growth mindset. I don't do things in a way to like not fail or to be, tread above water.
There
It's
is no
about
failure.
exactly, exactly. For us, it's like, it's the same thing. I mean, Cosmo and I always talk about, and I always tell him like, we are going to be successful no matter what. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to be on the street. It's like, I'm going to make
Now you're
this.
telling me how you really are. None of this gold nonsense.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. No, 100%. So it's like
Thank
I
you.
said, listen, I'm going to be on the street because I don't care. Like, this company's going to be really successful, and I put everything into it. And him and I are all, you know,
Right.
like,
So you probably talk to humans and business owners, so you're trying to relate to them with these landing the plane questions, but that's not you. So I don't talk to
no,
humans.
no, no, yeah, yeah. No, I
I hear
apologize.
it.
Yeah,
You don't have
yeah.
to apologize. You're just talking to the wrong people. So all I do is connect right people to right people. All this other stuff, it eliminates all this other stuff.
Exactly, exactly. It's like for me, it's like I can relate 100% because I feel like most quote unquote people that you're talking about, right? They're always like, oh, I feel so bad that you're quote unquote working all the time. And
What are
I'm
you
like,
talking
first of
about?
all, yeah, I'm like, I don't consider it work. This is what I love to do.
Right.
And it can
Do
like,
you have a family? Do you have a family?
no, no, I don't.
When you do, you will for sure. You will. I mean, that's why I wrote Epic Life because I talk to 1 to 2 people like us every single week that have let entrepreneur life destroy their family life or prevented them from ever having a family, because entrepreneurs are the most damaged people, the most damaged. Those 4 things, but they have the highest IQ, highest EQ. And then they use those coping skills to create massive company, massive whatever, and that's fine. But then they torch their family or never have a family. So that Epic Life's about how to build collaborative companies, global companies, while putting your loved ones first. I mean, that's literally why I wrote it. So you'll have a family. I'd be shocked if you didn't. But like then, like I guess you can't understand until you understand. Like I didn't understand until my 10-year-old was halfway outside of my wife, and then he looked at me. I'm like, oh, okay, now I really get it. But I'm not in someone else's future. Usually I'm talking to futurists, but I'm kind of you in the future right now. You'll understand. But all this stuff is fine, but without meaningful loving relationships, it's all meaningless. That's what I've.
Well, I guess maybe you can speak to Qasim because Qasim, like my co-founder, so he's, him and I are in the same boat in the sense, in terms of being like, visionaries. But it's like
Hmm.
he's married, he has kids, so I guess.
Qasim, did you marry a stabilizing human like a teacher, a lawyer, social worker?
No. So the thing is, I'm teacher of my kids. I spent time with my family as well. Sometimes then ask me, do you want to spend the whole weekend with your family? And I say, yeah.
What?
No
What are you
work
talking
on the
about?
weekend.
Kind of a question. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So again, I talk to 1 to 2 people like us every single week, not month, not year, week, that have let this life destroy their family life. And then I always know when someone uh is living in material world when they talk about an exit or like they made some list. I like the Inc. 5000 list. I think it's a great list, but I always know when some are like they traveled to this convention or whatever, they bought a new car, and then I always ask, I go, how's your family, or what, how are you doing? And then I bring up those 4 things, and then it's almost always 3 out of the 4. Most are all 4s, and then, oh, I don't, I never see my family, or I'm going through a divorce, because that again, all this other stuff is it's a shield for what's actually happening. That's what entrepreneur life actually is. And so
Yeah.
um
Will you give me an advice? Like I can understand whatever you're saying. I can understand because I do have a family and I'm facing all these problems. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm facing these problems on daily basis. Like my kids want to spend time with me. My wife want to spend time with me. She want to
right,
go out with me, and
right,
so all of for all of these things. But business is also my passion. Like why business is my passion. I want to be a source for the distribution to the people, obviously.
right,
So uh, on the other hand, I'm suffering, obviously my family is suffering as well. And
right.
do you have anything in your mind, like what
Epic
does
life. That's
yeah,
literally why I wrote.
yeah, but
That's why
it
I
gives
wrote
me,
it.
I'm looking for some for a time. Like I believe there will be some time if I'm spending good time to my business. Then there will be some time when I will be going to give my family good time, when
Hmm.
all the things will be automated and
Yep.
I
So
will be
you're the typical. So you're and this is fine. This is what so I hear blah 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 blah. Same answer. Blah 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 blah. Same answer. Blah 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 blah. So I have found putting family and network first actually solves all this other stuff. So most entrepreneurs, they put because they're the most damaged. You said suffer. That's not a good word. So I hear blah blah blah, suffer, blah blah blah, don't see family, blah blah blah, challenge, blah blah blah. I just hear it. So and then I'm like um simplify into answer. So there are only 2 questions I ask myself every day that matter. Only two. Only two. One, did I have a good experience that day with my family? 2, did network grow on a global level? So every day I found the answer to those questions is yes, and I found all this other stuff takes care of itself. So actually, by putting family and network first, all this other business, because all this other stuff's just business owner stuff. So I want to change world, but I'm suffering family. I just flip everything, because formula for creating a successful global company is simple: is you see a problem, create solution, problem solve, successful global company. So all Epic Life is a successful global company. See a problem, talk to 1 to 2 entrepreneurs every week who are suffering because they're not putting their family first. That's a problem. Create solution. Epic Life. How to build collaborative global companies while putting your loved ones first. Problem solve, successful global company. So, and then if you're not a litmus test for people you serve, that's a hypocrite. So purpose of life is to be connecting superhero for every visionary, not human, not business owner, not consultant, because those people make excuses. Visionaries don't make excuses. They just do it. For every visionary who shares their stories with the world, their world people, they annoy me. They're boring. So I'm a visionary sharing my story with the world. It's just being a litmus test for people you serve. So there's been nothing outbound in years. You just create value for right people, and then right people create value for you. But again, that's putting family first and then putting network.
Like, I
But
think
then what to do for, sorry, but then what to do for the livelihood? At the end, that's the main problem.
Nope,
Even for the family.
No. That true visionary will do it. That's the no excuses. My litmus test. My father shot down multiple times in combat, many times without a parachute. Got back into a plane. I'm dead last in empathy, second to last in includer. On Strength Finders for top entrepreneurs on planet, endless empathy. One of our PR partners, his grandfather was decapitated in front of him in Burma when he was a child. He went to Hong Kong with $10 in his pocket, $10, him and his father. They created 2 8-figure businesses. And then his third company, he hired my PR firm for it. He created an at-home robot to help people with dementia, Alzheimer's, because his mom has Alzheimer's dementia. Another PR partner, she's in Australia. She's had 26 surgeries, basically has been declared dead, and now she's traveling the world, changing the world through her foundation. There are no highest level, no excuses, none, no excuses.
Right.
You do it. That is what separates entrepreneurs from humans and business owners.
I
So
think
the only people that understand me are top entrepreneurs. Most people spend their whole lives making excuses. There are no excuses.
no,
At this
100%. I couldn't agree more. I think the biggest challenge that I see for Qasim and for people that are, so for example, like
He's a lower quick start. That's why.
yeah, well, also he's in Pakistan. So I think the challenge is
No. One of my good friends, he runs Mayfair. He's the Mayfair, which is top. One of my other good friends, he's a 173 IQ, Pakistan Olympic swimming team. And he was fired by Elon Musk over philosophical differences, and now he's creating quantum computers. No, there are no excuses.
right.
And by the way, so everyone I talk to is an American, regardless of where they live, because America is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So it doesn't matter where someone lives. That's meaningless. And then Canada, I talk to a lot of Canadians. Canada is peace, order, and good government. So that's most humans. Most Americans are actually Canadian, but I only talk to Americans.
No, that makes sense. No, I guess what I was talking about in terms of, I think, because he's working in US hours, right? Or I guess like,
Okay.
so I think in terms of, right, because Cosmo, I think in terms of like spending time with family, it can be difficult from that standpoint, right? In terms of the hour that you're sleeping versus the time that they're awake. I don't know.
I don't understand. So like, I just don't understand. So the first chapter of Epic Life is the cream rises to the top. So my dad died when I was 13. And so every day he said he came from nothing. Him and his 4 brothers all served actively in World War II. There were only 4 siblings, 4 brothers in the family. So it was very rare to send all 4 out to war. I mean, that's what kind of Saving Private Ryan's about, where 3 of them died. So all of my dad and his siblings, they all survived, but they were featured in national media because the whole family went. And then my grandmother, who I'm named after, I never met her, and then she didn't speak English, but she was interviewed saying how grateful she was to be able to send her children to war because she lived in the greatest country on earth. She and her husband escaped the pogroms of Russia, the slaughter of Russia, to come to America with nothing. And so I just don't understand anyone who makes excuses. There are no excuses at this level. I just don't. And that's what separates entrepreneurs from
I agree. I agree. I
that's it.
I guess advice for someone like myself in terms of, when you're talking about, finding a spouse that understands,
Mhm.
like a visionary. It's like, what do you like?
Yes.
What do you recommend and how do you find someone? 'Cause I think that's a big that's a big challenge for
Hilarious.
me. Yeah, that's a big challenge for me because I think it's like,
Colby.
yeah,
Okay. So I hear blah 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 challenge, blah 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 advice, blah 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 blah. So again, people like us usually marry stabilizing humans. Not always, but usually marry stabilizing humans. So my wife's a pediatrician. Our first date was the day before she started medical school. Also, no excuses in medical school. Figure it out. So And then my mom, she raised 4 children after my dad died. My youngest brother died drug overdose. No excuses. Figure it out. So, and then my mom has more hustle than anyone I've ever met. She just does. But so Colby, high quick start, low follow through, visionary, ADD usually marries low quick start, high follow through, stabilizing human, teacher, human, lawyer, nurse, pediatrician.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that that's something I will definitely take, you know, today. Like, I'll take that test. I think it's important for me to understand,
Right.
what my score is. So,
Right.
I just want to say, thank you so much for your time. It was very insightful. I mean, I learned a lot. I'm sure Qasim learned a lot, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Justin. Have a good one.
You too.